in North Carolina, and he is a double major in psychology and political science. I'm already exhausted just reading that. His title tonight is Early Childhood Education, an Investment in the Future. Come on up.
If someone were to ask you what policies should be implemented to reduce the crime rate, what would you think of? Harsher prison sentences? Increased police surveillance? Maybe increased individual security? Well, if someone were to ask me this question, I would think of an investment in early childhood education, or preschool. Now, I know at first this solution may not make a lot of intuitive sense, but early childhood education has been linked to substantial benefits for children. Unfortunately, these benefits are not realized equally by all children, as children from low-income families disproportionately lack access to early childhood education programs. And because many children from low-income families are unable to access these programs, it is crucial that government funding for early childhood education increases, which will lead to substantial benefits for children, their parents, and society in both the short term and the long run. Now, personally, I was first introduced to the amazing benefits of early childhood education in none other than a criminal justice class, when the professor, who had worked in the field for over 30 years, asked the class the same question I opened with today. And we gave answers like those I suggested, and were shocked to hear the professor's opinion that the best way to reduce crime in the long run is an investment now in early childhood education. So today I'd like to start by highlighting the need for an increase in access to early childhood education for low-income families. I will then move on to how an increase in government spending can lead to this increase in access, as well as provide numerous lifelong benefits for low-income children. And finally, I just want to paint a picture of the amazing benefits that will come with more low-income children attending early childhood education programs. So to begin, let's discuss why this need exists in the first place. Many children in the United States are unable to attend early childhood education programs, which disproportionately disadvantages low-income students as they enter elementary school. According to a 2014 report by childtrends.org titled Early Childhood Program Enrollment, children from affluent families are 20% more likely to be enrolled in an early childhood education program, which in elementary school puts their lower income peers at a disadvantage, as these students are less likely to have received the many benefits that come with attending preschool. But now, what exactly are these benefits I keep talking about? Well, according to quantitative research provided in 2010 by a study called the New Mexico Pre-K Evaluation by Dr. Jason Hudson and others, and published in the Journal of the National Institute for Early Education Research, attending a preschool program can actually increase the amount children can learn when in elementary school. The study looked at children who had attended government-funded preschool programs in New Mexico and compared their kindergarten outcomes to their peers who did not attend such programs. The study found that those who had been enrolled in an early childhood education program showed greater improvement in math and reading when compared to their peers who did not. Most notably, students who attended preschool showed 130% greater improvement in literacy compared to their peers who did not attend an early childhood education program. Now, this study clearly shows the amazing benefits that children can have by attending an early childhood education program, but it also shows that for children who are unable to access preschool, it's easy to fall behind, even in the course of just 1 year. This just further highlights the need for an equity in access to early childhood education programs, especially for low-income youth. So with this need established, I will now move on to the solution for creating this equity of access, which is more government funding. An increase in government spending on early childhood education would lead to an increase in access to these programs for low-income youth, as well as provide them with lifelong benefits. To cite another report from childtrends.org titled Head Start, Head Start is the name of the most prominent government-funded preschool program in America, as it reaches students across the country. In fact, the program has served over 900,000 youth who, without Head Start, would not be able to attend early childhood education programs because their families could not afford it. Clearly, more funding can indeed lead to more access to early childhood education for low-income students. And this increase in access is especially important because of the lifelong benefits these programs can bring. The most notable study looking at these lifelong benefits is called the Perry Preschool Project, and it's summarized in the article, Perry Preschool Project, written by members of the Coalition for Evidence-Based Policy and published on the website called Social Programs Network. Now, this study looked at students in the 1960s who attended the government-funded Perry preschool, and it followed them throughout their life, comparing their outcomes to students of the same demographics, these demographics being from a low-income family and at risk to drop out of high school, and it saw how their lives differed later on. The results of this study are astounding. Those who were enrolled in the Perry preschool were 44% more likely to graduate from high school, 46% less likely to spend time in jail or prison, and 33% less likely to be arrested for a violent crime. Now, this study clearly shows that attending an early childhood education program can place low-income students on the correct path for success later in life. And because of this long-term effect, inequality of access is especially important, which is why more government funding is needed, as it can serve as a solution to increase this access. So with an increase in government spending clearly serving as a solution to increase access to these programs for low-income students, I'll now move on to a further exploration of the many benefits that having more low-income students enrolled in early childhood education programs will bring. So more government funds going towards these programs will lead to immediate and long-term benefits for students, their families, and society as a whole. Importantly, having a student enrolled in a child care program can increase a parent's opportunity to work. Again, citing a report titled Early Childhood Program Enrollment, 42% of students from single-parent homes aged 3 to 5 are not enrolled in an early education program, which is greater than the percentage of students from a home with 2 married parents. Now, for low-income single parents in this situation, they often must have to choose between leaving their child unsupervised or giving up working hours to watch their children, which is really a choice no parent should have to make. And they don't have to, because with more government spending on free and subsidized early childhood education programs, these parents will have somewhere their children can go while they go work and make money for their families. This is a clear major benefit of more government spending on early childhood education. And now to demonstrate the major societal benefits that can come with more low-income students attending these programs, I will provide an economic example. So citing a 2012 Forbes opinion piece titled Parents Deserve to Know the Truth About Head Start, written by Carrie Lucas, and actually written in opposition to the argument I'm trying to make, the program Head Start, which I discussed earlier, costs the federal government about $7 billion annually. Clearly, it's not inexpensive. However, according to a 2013 New York Times article about prison costs by Mark Santora, states spend about $31,000 per inmate of state taxpayer money per year. This amounts to a whopping total of $39 billion annually. And now, if early childhood education programs have the potential to reduce the amount of people who spend time in jail or prison by 46%, as was suggested by the Perry Preschool Project, this could save states about $18 billion in spending every year, making the net return on these programs $11 billion. Now, of course, these numbers are completely hypothetical, but they do show that it's feasible for an increase in spending on early childhood education now to actually lead to taxpayer savings in the future, thus highlighting a major societal benefit of an increased investment in these programs. So after hearing the many benefits that would come with more low-income students attending early childhood education programs, I hope you are more supportive of, or at least would like to look more into the issue. So with statistics showing that children from low-income families disproportionately lack access to these programs, it's clear that something must be done to erase this inequality. And the solution really does lie in more government funding, as more government funding has been shown to increase access for low-income students, as well as provide them with lifelong benefits. However, children aren't the only people who will be experiencing these benefits, as it will also benefit their families and society as a whole. So in sum, it's crucial that the government increases its spending on early childhood education to increase the access to these programs for low-income students, as well as allow society to experience the full benefits of having low-income students enrolled in early childhood education programs. So in closing, what can we do about it? Well, if you have supported or already support more government spending on early childhood education, I urge you to take a strong stand, even reach out to your state and national representatives to voice your support. But if you're still unsure, I really hope that you will look more into the amazing benefits of early childhood education and consider the idea that when looking at something like the crime rate, the solution may not lie in more prisons or harsher sentences, but in 3 to 5-year-olds making finger paintings and macaroni necklaces. Thank you.